Good evening and welcome. Tonight we embark on a journey to uncover the relentless attacks against Donald Trump, the man the American people chose to lead this country. From the moment he descended that escalator, the media, the Democrats, the swamp, they all declared war. They couldn't stand that someone had come to drain their swamp, to expose their corruption, to put America first. Welcome to our deep dive into the top lies told by Democrats and liberals about Donald Trump from 2016 to 2025. We'll separate fact from fiction, cut through the noise, and expose the truth that the mainstream media desperately wants to keep hidden. Let's start with the big one, the lie that launched 1,000 fake news stories: Russian collusion. For years we were told that Donald Trump was a puppet of the Kremlin, that he had conspired with Vladimir Putin to steal the 2016 election. The mainstream media, in cahoots with the Democratic establishment, pushed this narrative relentlessly. They used anonymous sources, leaked classified information, and even invented salacious details to paint a picture of a president beholden to a foreign power. They launched a special counsel investigation led by Robert Mueller. Millions of taxpayer dollars were spent, countless hours wasted, all in pursuit of a phantom crime. And what did they find after 2 long years? Nothing. The Mueller report found no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. The Russia hoax was a deliberate attempt to delegitimize a duly elected president, to overturn the will of the American people. Next, we turn to Charlottesville, a tragedy exploited and manipulated for political gain. The mainstream media, eager to paint Trump as a racist, seized on a single phrase, "very fine people on both sides," and twisted it into a grotesque caricature of his actual words. President Trump never suggested there was moral equivalency between neo-Nazis and those who oppose them. He condemned the violence, the hatred on both sides. But the media cherry-picked his words, ignoring the numerous times he denounced white supremacy. They ignored the fact that he was specifically referring to peaceful protesters on both sides of the monument debate. The Charlottesville lie was a deliberate attempt to demonize the president, to portray him as something he is not. They didn't care about the truth, only about advancing their narrative. And then there was the impeachment, a partisan witch hunt if there ever was one. It all started with a phone call between President Trump and the Ukrainian president. The Democrats accused Trump of pressuring Ukraine to investigate his political rival, Joe Biden, by withholding military aid. They claimed it was a quid pro quo, an abuse of power that demanded impeachment. But the evidence told a different story. The transcript of the call showed no such pressure. The Ukrainian president himself denied feeling pressured. The impeachment was a dark chapter in American history, a blatant attempt to overturn the will of the people. It was a failure of epic proportions, a testament to the Democrats' desperation and their willingness to trample on the Constitution to achieve their political goals. Then came the pandemic, a global crisis that the Democrats and their media allies used to relentlessly attack President Trump. They second-guessed his every move, criticized his travel bans as xenophobic, and accused him of downplaying the threat. But what did President Trump do? He shut down travel from China, a bold move that experts now credit with saving lives. He launched Operation Warp Speed, a public-private partnership that delivered a vaccine in record time. The media chose to focus on his every misstep, every off-the-cuff remark, while ignoring his administration's significant accomplishments. The COVID-19 pandemic was a challenging time for our nation, but instead of uniting behind the president, the Democrats and their media allies chose to exploit the crisis for political gain. They put their own partisan interests ahead of the needs of the American people. Let's talk about the border wall, a promise made and a promise kept. President Trump campaigned on building a wall on our southern border to stop the flow of illegal immigration, drugs, and crime. Despite facing relentless opposition from the Democrats, he did just that. The Democrats called it a vanity project, a waste of taxpayer money. They did everything they could to obstruct its construction, even holding the government hostage in a futile attempt to block funding. But President Trump persevered, using every tool at his disposal to secure the funding he needed. The results? A significant decrease in illegal crossings, a reduction in drug trafficking, and a safer border for all Americans. The border wall is a testament to President Trump's commitment to keeping his promises, even in the face of fierce opposition. For years, the Democrats and their media allies demanded to see President Trump's tax returns. They claimed they held evidence of wrongdoing, of shady business dealings, even of collusion with foreign governments. Finally, after years of legal battles, the returns were released. And what did they reveal? Nothing. No smoking gun, no evidence of criminal activity, no bombshell revelations, just the complicated finances of a successful businessman. The tax return saga was nothing more than a fishing expedition, a desperate attempt to find something, anything, to use against the president. It was a colossal waste of time and resources, and it exposed the media's obsession with taking down Trump at any cost. And then, of course, there's the 2020 election and the relentless accusations of election fraud. President Trump, we were told, was undermining democracy by questioning the results. But, let's be honest folks, there were serious irregularities in that election. From changes to voting laws made at the last minute, often bypassing state legislatures, to an unprecedented number of mail-in ballots, to reports of voting machine glitches. There were plenty of reasons to raise concerns. Were these concerns enough to overturn the election? Maybe not. But were they legitimate concerns that deserved to be investigated? Absolutely. Instead of allowing for transparency and accountability, the Democrats and their media allies circled the wagons. They called anyone who questioned the results a threat to democracy, a traitor, a conspiracy theorist. The American people deserve answers. One of the most egregious lies spread about President Trump was that he disrespected the military. They claimed he called fallen soldiers losers and suckers, that he didn't care about the troops, that he was unfit to be commander-in-chief. But this was a lie, plain and simple. President Trump consistently expressed his deep admiration and respect for the men and women in uniform. He increased military spending, gave our troops the resources they needed, and brought many of our soldiers home from endless wars. The accusations of disrespect were nothing more than a smear campaign, a cynical attempt to exploit the military for political gain. Finally, let's talk about the economy. When President Trump took office, the economy was stagnant. Unemployment was high, wages were flat, and the American dream seemed out of reach for many. But President Trump, with his pro-growth policies, unleashed the American economy. He cut taxes, slashed regulations, and negotiated fairer trade deals. The results spoke for themselves: record low unemployment, soaring stock market, and millions of jobs created. But did the media celebrate these accomplishments? Of course not. They downplayed the economic boom, claiming it only benefited the wealthy. The truth is, President Trump's economic record is one of the most successful in modern history. We've covered a lot of ground tonight, folks, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. The lies told about Donald Trump are too numerous to count, the distortions too brazen to ignore. The truth is that Donald Trump was one of the most consequential presidents in American history. A president who challenged the status quo, who fought for the forgotten men and women of this country, and who put America first. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content.